But I don't know if that's what we needed. I mean, we didn't go into the draft thinking, let's get ourselves a running back. That wasn't one of our main purposes to be in the draft. We did need somebody on the defensive line.
Yes. In the trenches.
The offensive line too definitely needed some help. The defense as a whole had some holes in it that they needed to fill. And then on offense, people thought maybe they'd start looking at a quarterback, although it seems maybe a little early, but Brady is going to need a replacement someday. So, and I know it hurts to think about that, but Brady isn't going to be around forever. So,
unfortunately.
Overall so far, of course, the Patriots have been full of surprises. That first pick, they drafted the offensive lineman, they drafted Solder. And then their second pick, they didn't even use. They traded away, and they got the first pick in the second round. Right. That one, not many people were happy about. And
that was where they could have had Ingram.
That's the one where they could have got Ingram.
And he ended up going to New Orleans thanks to the trade.
Thanks to the trade. See, the question that I ask myself, and I didn't mind them passing on Ingram. I was fine with that. I mean, Ingram's a good player. It'd be great to have on the team. I was fine with them passing. But in the late second round yesterday, they did end up drafting 2 running backs, which raised the question, if they were looking for running backs, why not take Ingram?
When you had who could possibly be a stud running back right there in the palm of your hands, like our friend Matt said, he just kind of fell into our laps. And then if you're looking to draft running backs, I don't see why you pass on him.
If the Patriots had the idea in their head that they wanted to draft a running back or multiple running backs, you would think that with Ingram on the table and the podium there for us to just go up and draft him, we would have done it. But Bill Belichick moves in mysterious ways, and he's always looking towards tomorrow. He always likes to stockpile picks for that next year. The problem is tomorrow never comes. So eventually, these picks are going to have to be used. Otherwise, we'll just keep getting those late second-round running backs. But I do want to say, though, I do have a hard time questioning Bill Belichick. He's proved in the past he knows what he's doing when it comes to drafting.
I know for a fact that last year I was one of those people who wasn't totally on board with Bill drafting 2 tight ends, but obviously, color me stupid. They ended up panning out very well.
Yeah, and I mean, the biggest example of how well Bill is at drafting is Tom Brady, our star quarterback, possibly the best quarterback in the league, possibly one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. And he came so late in the draft, nobody had heard of him. And what do you know? Now he's a star, 3-time Super Bowl champion, league MVP. So Bill knows what he's doing.
Also, talking about Tom Brady, they did end up drafting a quarterback, like you mentioned before. Tom Brady's not going to be around here forever. And they took Mallett, which was kind of surprising to a lot of people. But when you sit back and think about it, I think it's a wise move. I think it's good to have someone who can sit on the sidelines, sit behind Tom Brady, learn from Tom Brady, and figure out the game that way before he has to have the pressures of being an NFL starter, especially for the New England Patriots, who have had such great success over the last few seasons.
Right, I completely agree. You figure Tom Brady does have some seasons left in him. He's not going to retire tomorrow.
No.
So Mallett will have a while on the bench, and he'll be able to learn from the best. And when it comes to quarterbacks spending some time on the bench behind superstar quarterbacks, they end up being really well or really good at what they do. And you can look at Aaron Rodgers, and I mean, not everybody likes Brett Favre, but you can't argue with the fact that Brett Favre knew what he was doing on the field.
And he's going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Oh, he is.
But whether you like it or not, Brett Favre's going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback, and Aaron Rodgers sat behind him and under his tutelage, and now look where Rodgers is.
And I mean, it's way too early to say now, but the way Aaron Rodgers is playing right now, if he continues to play like this, it looks like we're going to have another Hall of Fame quarterback on our hands.
Let's
I might be jumping the gun a little bit. But if he continues to play the way he is, that's the direction he's heading.
Absolutely. Well, stepping away from the NFL, and I just want to get away from all the lockout business, to be quite honest with you. It just goes through my mind, and it makes me quite sad. So I don't want to have to deal with any more NFL for a while until I know that the lockout's over. So we're going to jump back into basketball, and the Boston Celtics taking on the Miami Heat. This is the series that everyone was waiting for. Glenn Davis yesterday at practice kind of joked with everyone, saying he would have rather seen the Bulls this round and the Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals, because, I mean, and I quote from Glenn Davis, he said that It's woe right now playing the Heat in the second round, but if they played in the Eastern Conference Finals, it would be whoa. Not like this round isn't whoa, but the next, in the finals, it would have been whoa, whoa, whoa. So it's clear that everyone understands how big of a series this is, because this is basically the rivalry that everyone wanted to talk about all season, the old Big Three versus the new.
It's true, and plus, I mean, LeBron is on the Heat.
Yeah.
LeBron James is playing against the Celtics, and most Celtics fans, actually most NBA fans at this point, figure if their team can't win it, they're happy as long as LeBron doesn't win it. So if we can knock LeBron out, that'll make me a happy guy, even if we don't go all the way.
Absolutely. So speaking about LeBron, we wanted to ask all of you guys, who's the biggest key to the series? Who's the player on either team that's going to make the difference? And Matt R. on Facebook said, Rondo. Not even a discussion. And then he went on to say that no one can match up with him. And I agree with that. No one on the Miami Heat can match up with Rondo's quickness and speed and his ability to distribute the ball. So that's going to cause a lot of problems. But to me, Rondo is not the key to this series.
Well, I feel like Matt R might have cheated just a little bit, because Rondo's the key to every Celtics game.
That's true.
Anytime you ask, what's the key to the Celtics winning this game, Game X, whatever their next game is, Rondo's a good answer, because when Rondo plays well, the Celtics win.
That's absolutely right. But to me, this series is going to be all about LeBron. We all know the history that LeBron has playing the Boston Celtics in the playoffs, and it's not a good one. See, my thinking is LeBron James hasn't been a player who hits the clutch shot when his team needs it in crunch time. Now, LeBron James is going to have to do that if he expects to lift the Miami Heat past the Celtics. Now, I understand you're going to say they have Dwayne Wade and they have Chris Bosh. Dwayne Wade has been virtually useless against the Celtics so far this season when it comes to all regular season. When it came to playing them, the Celtics shut them down.
Yeah,
shut them down.
Other than, you can look at that 23-point loss that the Celtics had to the Heat. Dwayne Wade, I wouldn't say he was excellent. He played well. He played like Dwayne Wade, but once again, looking at that game, I don't know if you can take too much away from it. I think those first three games are what you really need to look at when it comes to Celtics Heat this season.
I mean, Wade only averaged 12.8 points per game against the Celtics this season, so I think they know how to stop him.
Yeah.
And I think that they usually just clog up the paint to stop LeBron. That's what they've done when he was with Cleveland. I think if they double Dwayne Wade, like they have been, and kind of keeping a defender roaming to help Ray Allen or whoever's covering Dwayne Wade for the time being, then if they keep the paint clogged up, which will make Jermaine O'Neal another big part of this series, if they can keep clogging up the paint and prevent LeBron James from driving the lane, that's going to be a huge key.
You force LeBron James to hit jump shots,
absolutely,
and you're in good shape.
Because he's not a great jump shooter. I don't care what anyone has to say. He's not a great jump shooter. No. That's why he doesn't hit clutch shots. Because at the end of games, you're not going to get to the hoop. You have to take a jumper, and he doesn't hit them. So to me, that's why he's going to be my key.
I can see that. LeBron James is another one of those guys who he is the key to a game. He is the key to a series. He's LeBron James, he's their main player, and it comes down to us stopping him. But, and related to us stopping him, my key player for this series is Jeff Green coming off the bench for the Boston Celtics. And that might be a little bit of surprise, but hear me out. My reasoning is Paul Pierce is going to be defending LeBron James, and Paul Pierce does an outstanding job when it comes to defending LeBron James.
He definitely does.
In the past, I don't know that I've seen many people defend LeBron better than Paul Pierce does.
Agreed.
But when you play LeBron James in a 7-game series and you're on him all the time, trying to stop him from scoring, you end up in foul trouble more than once. So Paul Pierce is going to spend a little bit of time on the bench in this series. There's no question. He's going to get into foul trouble early, maybe once, maybe twice, hopefully not all the time. But when Paul Pierce gets into foul trouble, Jeff Green is going to have to come in and he's going to have to play some decent minutes. And if he can do that, I think that's going to be a huge key to the Celtics getting over the hump and winning some of these games.
And he didn't play great minutes in the first series. The bench overall, the first 3 games kind of was waiting for something to happen. They didn't go out there and attack. And they're going to have to do that this series. And you're right, Jeff Green is going to be a big part of that because they brought him over here, and that was all the talk. Kendrick Perkins is gone now, and Jeff Green is supposed to be this new guy. So off the bench, he's going to have to play his role, and he's going to have to step up. So I agree with you. Yeah. I completely agree.
So we'll see what happens.
Now let's quickly touch on the the team that's really not making too much news, but
No.
they're improving. They're getting a little better.
They are. On our chat room, we asked, do you think that the Red Sox look better? And the obvious answer is yes, because last time we were here, they hadn't won a game yet. But
Agreed.
on Facebook, Donna told us, definitely, hitting is coming alive and will catch up. So, the pitching will catch up, excuse me. And she has a point. I mean, the hitting is better than it was. The pitching is much better than it was. The pitching actually have a couple wins in their records now. Daisuke has a couple wins.
I know, that's surprising.
There's not too much. They're kind of on the fence right now as far as if they're a good team or a bad team, if you ask me. They're really struggling against hitting lefties. And the pitching has its great days and then has its off days. And sometimes the bullpen looks great. Sometimes the bullpen doesn't look great. So I'm still on the fence right now. They do look better than they did. There's no question. Because last time we took a look at them 2 weeks ago, they were no good. They had no wins. None of the pitchers had wins. Nobody was hitting. We weren't scoring many runs.
Absolutely.
So they do look better. They're on the way up, and that is good news.
Unfortunately, though, Kyle Crawford, we have to touch on Kyle Crawford.
Yeah.
The $142 million man is hitting
Big
160. And I don't know what it is with this guy. He looks like he's pressing. He's taking really defensive swings. He just looks a little lost out there. And I know a lot of his teammates and coaches and people in the front office just keep telling him, you know, play your game. Be Kyle Crawford. The Red Sox aren't looking for you just because you signed a big deal and now you're in Boston. They're not looking for you to be a hero. Don't try to be a hero. All right? Just be yourself. Be Kyle Crawford. You have a good team around you. The team will stand by you, and they will play better and help you play better yourself.
It's true. It is a lot of pressure, though, playing in Boston, having a
is.
huge contract. And, I mean,
And he didn't have that in Tampa Bay, that's for sure.
Not at all. And there's really, other than New York and Boston, there's really no other place like this to play this game of baseball. Like,
No.
you are in the spotlight.
Yeah,
and
big spotlight.
Yeah, and so you can't blame him for feeling a little bit of pressure, but we're not deep into the season, but we're to the point now where he should be starting to come around. So hopefully we'll start to see that soon. Otherwise, that was a big waste on our part.
Absolutely. So now let's jump in real quick to our Twitter chatter. This is another one of our favorite parts of the show. I'll be honest, I love the entire show.
So do I. It's a great show.
But first, my tweet is from Bill Simmons, who writes for ESPN, and he touched on the draft and the New England Patriots, and he said, Patriots drafts are like Vegas trips. You look forward to them for weeks. Then 24 hours in, you're saying, what just happened? And, you know, he's absolutely right. We said it earlier, you know, Bill Belichick doesn't go about the draft in a normal way.
And
he does it different.
Everyone was real excited. 2 first-round draft picks, and then, you know, we trade one of them away, and we pick somebody that no one expected, and we end up with 2 running backs in the second round, and the quarterback that people didn't see coming. So
he does surprise us. It's like watching the hangover of the NFL draft.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. But I'm not ready to crucify him yet. The man seems to know what he's doing, so I'm willing to sit back and watch before I start talking bad about what we've done in the draft. My tweet this week comes from Ocho Cinco, Chad Ocho Cinco. It's actually, though, it is a retweet of one of our good friend, Ron Artest, one of his tweets. So Ocho Cinco tweeted, LMAO, retweet at Ron Artest, African elephants were rapping and killing rhinos. That's animal cruelty, dysfunctional upbringing. I don't know that I have a comment for that tweet.
All I can say is when Chad Ocho Cinco is laughing at your tweets and retweeting them thinking that they're ridiculous, then you are pretty ridiculous.
Yes.
That's really all I can say about that.
There's not much else we can say.
There's nothing else they can say.
You know, we
about
might
that.
want to just start calling this segment Run Our Test Chatter.
Absolutely. All right, well, you guys know how to reach us. That's all we have for you today. So once again, find us on Facebook, Sports Chat. The A is an @ sign. Find us on Twitter, at WA Sports Chat, or at Brian_Mahler, that is me, or
at RJ Pomerleau, that's me.
And you can reach us there and find us on YouTube at WA Sports Chat. Go over there, send us your comments, and we'll put them on the show. We'll use them. Get yourself a Sports Chat t-shirt.
Yep. So that's all we have for you today. Thanks for watching.
And if you're not down with that, then we've got 2 words for you.
Sports Chat.